Welcome back to another Money Making March episode with some fabulous women to celebrate women in history making some money-making moves. And I could not be more excited to share this guest with you because her mission is so heart-led and so driven by a fire for women's financial empowerment that we're just going to dive in. But first, I want to give you some really cool statistics that might make you activate a little bit of divine women's rage. So, did you know that women who leave the workforce to care for children can experience a significant loss of lifetime earnings? Studies have shown that women who take a 5-year career break to raise children can lose as much as $467,000 in lifetime earnings compared to women who remain in the workforce. Not only that, according to a study by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, approximately 43% of women with children under the age of 18 leave the workforce at some point in their careers for caregiving reasons, including to raise children, and a significant portion of them eventually return to work after a period of time. Now, if 43% of women are leaving to care for children or to care for elderly parents, and they are losing nearly $500,000, what is that doing for our financial empowerment? And that is why I'm so excited to bring to you Ashley Connell, who took these statistics and chose to do something about it. She is the founder of the Prowess Project, where she connects CEOs with online business managers to run your business so you can grow your business. Now, what makes the Prowess Project different is she not only does the matchmaking between CEOs and online business managers, she helps women and caregivers who have left the workforce to train them in how to be an online business manager. And then she pairs them with the CEOs that are a match for their vision, for their values, for their future, and to be that integrator to the visionary. And I know you've heard me talk on this podcast about how integral that relationship is of having the integrator to the visionary thinker. Especially as you're growing, especially as you're developing, especially as you're expanding your empire. And Ashley and I could stand on this soapbox forever. And I love that she has not just taken this information and ran with it, but she created an entire incredibly successful business out of it that is supporting women in building a life and business on their own terms that allows them the freedom to also be a caregiver and have the power of having and be that person who is the online business manager who is supporting a CEO's vision, who is supporting a bigger dream come to life, who puts them in an integral role of the integrator into a business. That is so beautiful. I just think we need to dive in like right now. So without further ado, I give you Ashley Connell.
Welcome to the Crown Yourself podcast, where together we build your empire and transform your subconscious stories about what's possible for your business, body, and life. I'm your host, Kimberly Spencer, founder of CrownYourself.com, and I'm a master mindset coach, best-selling author, TEDx speaker, known to my clients as a game changer. Each week, you get the conscious leadership strategies you need to help you reign with courage, clarity, and confidence so that you too can make the income and impact you deserve. Imagine this podcast as your royal invitation to step into your full potential and reign in your divine purpose. Your sovereignty starts here, and your reign is now.
Welcome, Ashley, to Crown Yourself. I am so excited. This has been a long time in the making to get you here.
Girl, right back at you. Like, I am so pumped. Oh, I'm so excited.
So I just want to just rip the box open because you have helped 43% of caregivers return to the workforce.
Let me clarify that. So the statistic is 43% of women leave the workforce to raise children. That was the statistic that I saw that I was like, oh, that is a problem I am tackling and helping to solve. In that, over the past 4 years, we've helped well over 1,000.
Phenomenal. And so why target caregivers?
So, bit of my background, I was in tech marketing for 15 years and looked up at all my leadership, and they were all men. So I asked the women who were in my level, in my cohort, like, hey, you going up for the next promotion? Or, hey, you want to be CMO one day? Like, and they're like, actually, I can't. Like, I have kids. So I have to stay here, and I may take a pause, and but I don't think I can do both. And that infuriated me because I was thinking, like, I want to have both. I want to be in leadership and have a family. So hopped on Google, found the horrific Harvard Business Review statistic that 43% of women leave. When they're out for just 3 years caregiving, they lose a total of 37% of their compensation power forever. Forever. It's insane. It's insane. And the real kicker that was like, oh my gosh, Prowess Project needs to happen is 97% of all of those women would return to the workforce if they had access to flexible jobs. When I read that, it was like underline, 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 light bulb, light bulb, light bulb. Let's go do this.
You know, it reminds me of that scene in one of my favorite movies, Erin Brockovich, the opening scene where she's in the job interview and she's like, I spent the past 3 years, 5 years raising babies. And I know right before the show, I was saying, I'm sure dads do it too, and single dads,
Totally,
rock it out. But I have found as a mom, like more often than not, the moms are the schedulers. They're thinking 6 months out, a year out. We're planning and scheduling for camps and like, what are the activities that are going to be done at Christmas? And it's July, so that we have that foresight for where our kids are going. And we're the ones crafting that vision and that structure in a way for the most part. And I was just reflecting on this with my husband the other day. I was like, that's why moms are such, like dads too. My husband is amazing. Nothing against dads. Like dads are
parents, right?
Parents, right. But caregivers for the most part, I have found moms are just rocking it with the vision structure of being able to map out a vision and operationalize where that goes. And I think each child is basically its own business.
100% its own business. And what I love about what you just said is, yes, moms can pinpoint the vision and create that plan to make it happen. They can operationalize it. They can build the structure. That's only half of it. What we haven't even covered is the mass amount of emotional intelligence and empathy and communication skills and teamwork and negotiation that you create as a caregiver, especially a mom, that is directly applicable to the workforce. They say now the number one trait of a successful leader is empathy. Like moms have that in spades, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's these two things together, right? The hard skills and the soft skills. These women are just diamonds in the rough. They're amazing. Amazing.
And so with the Prowess Project and what you're creating, what positions are you typically just guiding them to become online business managers, or are there other positions that you're seeing that they better fill? What's the process that you work them through?
Absolutely. So the actual, brass tacks of the business is we built an online platform where we help women train to be online business managers. What an online business manager is, think of it as a cross between like the strategy of a COO, but the execution of a BA with a dash of digital marketing. So this is the perfect integrator to the visionary. It's the perfect, hey, I'm a CEO and I have all these ideas and I need that thought partner to get shit done. That is an OBM. The platform takes all the data that we are learning from them as they're doing the training and then matches them up with ideal CEOs based on the role that the CEO has, the work style that the CEO has, the communication style, and making sure all of that is compatible. So think of the tech almost as like LinkedIn meets eHarmony. That's really what we built to make sure that the CEO OBM fit is the best thing possible.
I absolutely love that strategy of LinkedIn meets eHarmony. How are you leveraging AI, if at all, for these matches?
Great question. So the technology platform we built over 3 years, and there's a ton of AI interworkings in there. I could probably bore y'all for hours if you really wanted to know. But where I think the AI is most used to benefit either the OBMs, online business managers, or the CEOs is in our training. We are constantly upskilling our online business managers to know about the latest AI. How do I integrate that into my clients? If a CEO is coming to me and they're spending all this time doing these repetitive tasks, what does it look like to automate and use AI to streamline everything so that the CEO has more time and paying a heck of a lot less money because it doesn't take the OBM very long to do all of this. So that's really where we're seeing AI change the game on both sides of our business.
One of the things that I've been preparing a lot of my clients for is just this radical transformation that's happening in the next 5 years with the leveraging AI, not as a done for you operation, because
Correct.
I think when we think of it as oh, it's just going to do everything for me, that's when we get the content that just sounds like kind of wah, wah, and
Totally
boring and soulless, versus using and leveraging AI like Jarvis and Iron Man to be able to be that co-pilot.
That's exactly what it is. And it's like now your co-pilot, your OBM has co-pilot. So imagine what this person can do for you then. I just was speaking to one of our clients and she was like, Ashley, as a CEO, as a coach, what an OBM has really helped me do is think bigger, because I would think bigger, but then the next thought in my head was like, oh my God, how am I going to do the back end of this? And so then she would just lay that dream to the side or lay that next revenue goal to the side. But now she has the OBM who will happily take the back end, get it all done quickly with all the technology. And she's making more money, more profit _, than she ever has before.
Yes, making more money. Revenue is good, but profit is king or queen.
Yes,
it
absolutely.
is. Yeah. I mean, I have worked with so many business owners who they are, ooh, let's scale. Let's make another couple million, but their profit margins just are so tight that they're stuck in this space of they're working harder than they did before.
Absolutely. I mean, revenue really is a vanity metric. Like, let's be honest, it is. And we talk about that with our online business managers quite a bit. Like, hey, look, get really clear with your CEO, your clients, on what is most important to them. And if they do say revenue, ask clarification questions. Like, is it because you want to go raise money? Then yes, revenue is super important. Or is it really profit? Or is it really cash? And then let's pull the different levers in your business to optimize to that, to whatever really that goal is, and understanding that why. So I really feel like every CEO needs that quote unquote integrator, or needs that OBM who can really help make all of those dreams come true.
Yeah, I completely agree with the integrator aspect, because I mean, we followed Gino Wickman's Traction, which builds on that visionary integrator magic sauce that happens when you have somebody who can take that vision and implement it. And that allows you to just shine in your space of your genius zone. And I have seen a direct correlation between the amount of money a CEO is making and the amount of time that they're spending in their zone of genius, and the amount of money the business is making entirely.
Well, it's the amount of money, it's the impact, it's just all around. When you're in your zone of genius, you're just happier. Like, your zone of genius is where your passion meets your innate talent. Like, if you're in that all day long, and I think the beauty in this is these OBMs, their zone of genius is all the operations. So both people are winning, and you're making more money, and you're making more impact. It's just such a no-brainer, right? It really is.
So when you were finding this solution to this gigantic problem of so many caregivers leaving the workforce, what was your driving factor to say, I'm going to turn this into a business, to leverage this as an asset? Did you secretly want to leverage this for yourself as well, to have an OBM?
Yes. So, yeah, point blank. So I knew that this was going to be a business because I wanted a way to still have control to make my vision happen and change as many lives as possible. And I felt like a business was going to be the best vehicle to do that. Also, I started this before I had children. So really, this was to solve my, at the time, future problem of, hey, if I do want to step out of the workforce, how do I get back in? Or if I do want to step out of the workforce and not be full-time, but maybe be part-time, I can go be an OBM versus working full-time. And we see that a lot too. Women who are working 40, 50, 60 hours a week and like, hey, I don't want to get out completely, but I need something. And so they come to us. But I have to give our COO, Leah Steinkirk, so much credit in this. She really was the first OBM. And we were like, Leah, you are amazing. Can we just package you and help women train to do exactly what you're doing? Because as the CEO, you are invaluable to me. So how do we help make this happen? And so really, Leah has been a huge inspiration in this. And she is the one who builds the training, who helps all of the OBMs get to where they want to be, is really the brainchild behind the whole algorithm and the IQ plus EQ. It's just, she's phenomenal.
Magic.
Yeah.
It's magic. Like that's the magic of having an amazing OBM. And when that manager is in place, like I know our online business manager, she just kind of grew with us. She started out as a VA for me, and I was like, you're a mom of 4. Like we can let's skill you up and get you to that place where you are able to like invaluable, like absolutely invaluable. And it's that ability, I think, in the visionary role to recognize other people's genius zones.
Absolutely. And to know when you need to up-level your support. I think what you said was so important. Like you saw the potential in her and you're like, hey, yeah, she can be more, and that will bring us more and we can make more impact as a business. And I love that you said that. I think a lot of times people hire a virtual assistant with the best intentions of the world, but then don't couple that with either training or have misaligned expectations. One of my mentors said this, and I thought it was absolutely perfect. A virtual assistant takes a task and executes. An online business manager takes a vision and strategizes. Like you need to know when you're a CEO, when it's time for an OBM, because you need to get to that next level.
Yeah. I think of a virtual assistant as they're the task master. They are doing the tasks and the things. The difference is when you get to the manager side, that they have now not just the responsibility to ensure the task gets done, but they have the responsibility for the overarch of the project.
Bingo. And how is that going to make impact to our KPIs? And how is that going to make us more money? And how is that what can we do to implement tech or systems or processes to go faster? Like that is what they need to be thinking about all the time. And so when we're looking for online business managers, we love women who have a background that looks like a patchwork quilt. That's what we call it. So instead of that linear, like I started as, accounting coordinator, then manager, specialist, blah, 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 more of I've done some ops, I've done some accounting, I've done some marketing, I've done some sales. So they have this well-rounded background, but they're like, I don't know what to go do next. I don't know how to turn this into a career. They make perfect OBMs.
I could see so many people in freelancing and entertainment right now, because there's a lot of jobs open right now in entertainment.
Yes.
In being rock star OBMs, especially producers, because they are, they're managing teams and schedules, but they have multiple different projects that they
iron to the fire.
Yeah. So the resume is like a patchwork quilt. And so it doesn't necessarily to the untrained eye see that. But when I get people from the entertainment industry, I'm like, I see your skill set as an operation business manager. Like I see it and value it.
Absolutely. And then all it is training them how to speak to those transferable skills, or helping them see that and helping them meet the CEO where they are and explain how all of these skills will really take that CEO and that business to the next level. And that's a lot of what we do in our training.
Phenomenal. So looking at your story, like, was being an entrepreneur always in your journey? I know you started out in marketing and tech, but like, it seems like you kind of got this in your blood.
Yeah, girl. I would love to tell you that. Like, I think being an entrepreneur was always for me. My mom is a very accomplished interior designer, and I watched her when, I was growing up, work out of the back of her car and stay up all night long doing, like, running the business. And so I saw all of that. And so I didn't know at the time, obviously, but realized that, oh my gosh, I had that same bug. So pre-Prowess, I started a marketing agency with 2 other people. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity because we made every mistake in the book. So, so then I was able to take that and be like, okay, this is what we're doing with Prowess that's going to be different.
And what was the main thing that you did differently?
Quite frankly, have an OBM. The 3 of us were visionaries. And we were kind of, I would almost say that we weren't building a business. We were just building jobs for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize now, like, I can see that now. We made all the operations mistakes. We didn't focus and niche down and just do one thing. And so when you're, everything for everyone, you're nothing to no one. And that was a huge mistake. So that's why you mentioned how specific we are in niching for Prowess. That was a huge lesson learned.
Yeah. Yeah, because focusing on caregivers, and while other people from other industries could absolutely benefit, I think the heart of your mission, it sounds like, really came from just these statistics alone of seeing how women weren't moving up in the corporate ladder.
Absolutely.
A family.
Absolutely. And we get a ton of women who are caring for their parents or caring for an older relative, or it's not just moms, which I think is really great. However, I heard this about niching and I thought it was so spot on. Like, use your niche strategy as a magnet, not a filter. So, for example, with Prowess Project, we would never say no to someone who isn't a caregiver who wants to be an OBM. We would never say no. But what the content that we are putting out there and the messaging and the energy, we are going to attract people who love that idea and love the mission. So whether they're an actual caregiver or a caregiver ally, I don't really care, because we use it as a magnet, not a filter.
I love that metaphor because couldn't agree more. That, like, if you chose to use it as a filter, it would actually be a disservice.
Totally.
But the magnet metaphor, just, it attracts who it attracts. And you're attracting those who could be caregivers, the future moms, the future parents, the future, people who are taking care of their parents, which is going to be a growing, massive population that actually doesn't have as much I'm not going to say respect, but we give a lot more credence to, you have your kids to take care of too. Oh, you have your very stubborn, ornery 80-year-old parent,
right,
who's lived life and doesn't want to listen to you.
Right. I think it's an awareness thing, less of even like a respect thing. And I know you didn't mean that word, but like, I think we're just expected to take care of the parents, but also that generation is living longer. So to your point, I think we are going to see this more and more, and even like more critical for our population, and I guess opportunity to become online business managers, is the sandwich generation. You're taking care of your parents and you're taking care of your kids. And how do you still make money through that? Because inflation, nothing's getting cheaper, right? So I really hope that Prowess is at a point where we can be a solution for so many women out there.
Yeah. So how has it been the transition for you since you are a newer mom, shifting from like being CEO to CEO and caregiver?
Tough. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's been really hard because it's made me focus on what works in the business and not all of the other nonsense that like feels like busy work, or like there's a difference between being busy and being effective. I had to have a crash course in that, and oftentimes the things that were effective may be something that felt a little uncomfortable at first, but knowing that I have to do it because I have between 9 and 5. Those are the times that I can work. I can't stay up all night long before like I did with pre-kids, right? So I think that has been the biggest learning. And I have a 20-month-old girl. So I'm building this so that she never has to think about, do I have a career or family? Or that is not going to be a thought in her mind. And that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah. So how did having children change your perspective, if at all? Or did it just deepen?
It deepened. It absolutely deepened. I realized it's not even importance. It is critical for caregivers to have flexibility in their jobs. Critical. And so I'm not surprised the statistics now. I've seen the bias of women trying to return to the workforce after a break caregiving. It's wild. A woman can be out being a mom for 3 years and go up for a job. A same person can be out for 3 years doing something else. And that person who was doing something else will be 3 times more likely to get an interview than the caregiver. So the bias is real. The bias is very, very, very real. And just seeing that over and over and over again was eye-opening. But to your point before, just fueled the fire even more.
Yeah, that's like gasoline.
Yes, doubling down, like, let's do this. Yes, this will be successful. This will change lives. Yes.
And so with the Prowess Project, because it seems to me like it's not just providing women and caregivers with the tools, the training, the skill set to be OBMs, but a level deeper, that there is a paradigm shift in society, in our system, of what we think is valuable as a valuable skill set. And so how do we, and I don't know if you have the answer of whether this is something that we're going to have to collectively come up with, but how would you say that paradigm needs to shift so that we see caregivers for the value that they provide?
The only way, in my opinion, or one of the only ways that it is going to shift, is if we as leaders speak about our caregiving duties more often and praise other people for going to ballet recital, for going to baseball game, for going to flute practice, whatever it is. We have to call that out. And we also, as leaders, need to pinpoint how our qualities and other qualities on our team are good, or maybe started from caregiving experiences. Wow, Kimberly, I can see how empathetic you are. Is that because of, or do you feel like being a caregiver really helped you do that? giving you the opportunity to talk about it, giving it that opportunity to shine. And then obviously, if someone likes praise in public, saying that in public. I think that bringing it up more often and hiring for the whole person is absolutely critical. And again, will be one of the only ways that we combat this. What we're also seeing is, because we are very foot forward on our mission to help caregivers, the CEOs who are coming to us, again, if we're thinking about magnets, already appreciate that we have that mission, already know that our OBMs are caregivers, already know that they're going to come with all of this enriching empathy and operations know-how just in their blood. And so I think that we are seeing this shift in society, specifically in business, where people are aligning their dollars with mission and with values and with what they care about. And that's becoming increasingly more important.
Did you see this shift take off during COVID? Because one of the things that I saw was that suddenly, kids would wander in during a meeting because, that was normal because we were all in our homes. So this normalization where no longer we have these boxes of like, here's my work box and here's my family box and here's this fragmentation, rather than actually allowing for the holistic awesomeness that is the human and every piece of and every aspect that we have in our lives. What was the greatest shift that you saw?
You nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. So pre-COVID, we still had a workforce of all remote, candidates, and a lot of people, business owners, like, no, not for me. I need the FaceTime. Well, May 10th, 2020 hit, or March, and probably by March 25th, they were all coming back like, oh, I guess remote could work for me. And so we did see this shift of CEOs thinking differently about their staff and the type of candidates that they could get if they weren't looking at just a 10-mile radius from where their office is. And I mean, COVID also left 5.4 million American women out of the workforce because they couldn't juggle the working from home and caregiving. And so that was an additional supply of women who were like, I can't and won't make this traditional work, butts and seats. I'm not going to do that anymore. So I need to find another solution. And so I'm grateful that we were at the path where we could be that solution for a lot of women.
Yeah, it seemed like that just is, it's that luck where preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, it just met perfectly at perfect divine timing for your business to expand. So as your business has grown, what has been the most recent challenge as you're leaning into that next phase of growth?
Our biggest challenge has been, I am a typical visionary. Loves sparkly objects.
Oh yeah.
You love the next idea. I love growing and, having side projects. So it has been absolutely critical that we stay true to and focus on just training online business managers and matching them up with CEOs who need that thought partner. That has been actually the biggest challenge, is to stay focused on that, because I am so idea focused and light bulbs, and that really riles me up. And so that has probably been our biggest challenge, just to focus. But what they say, right? Like, think about the power of the light of the sun versus the power of the light of a laser. One is so focused, but you can get so much further, versus the sun, like, yes, it warms you up, but it's not going to do the damage of a laser. We need to be the laser. And that is a challenge, to stay a laser.
So in that space, do you find, how have you skilled up with your leadership?
I have invested in several networking groups, several upskilling courses or programs. It is absolutely critical that and I challenge myself to do this, always be the greenest person in the room. I'm constantly looking for that. I'm constantly looking, what can I learn from this person? I'm constantly looking for, hey, how can I be in a room where someone is so much further ahead and what can I learn? And that has helped me exponentially. Also, being a part of accelerator programs. So that has really helped me expand my network, because I didn't come from, yes, my mom is an entrepreneur, but, just recently has she really had her business take off. So I didn't have a network, a family network. I didn't have a lot of people that I knew in this space. But by investing in accelerators, networking groups, and upskilling programs, it has changed not only the people I surround myself with, but probably even more importantly, my mindset, and constantly thinking about going bigger in a calculated, operationalized way. Intentional way.
The intentionality of being that laser and seeing, 10 feet, 20 feet, a mile down as to where that laser is going to go, rather than like completely off into the stratosphere.
But literally, that's what I would be. I am that astronaut. Like, so, see you later. So it's really big focusing.
I love that you are a second generation entrepreneur. I am as well.
Ooh, love it.
Yes, I had got to see my parents grow a business from like nothing to where my mom was like pushing me around in the stroller, passing out the flyers to the neighbors. Like she was like, that was the most ineffective marketing I've ever done. And then to seeing them grow to a multi-million-dollar annual business. But it wasn't until like the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And recently we just got her a buyout for her business after my dad passed. Yeah. Which is very rare for tree businesses. Yes. But that experience, meeting a second generation entrepreneur, have you noticed with other people who grew up with maybe employee parents, the difference in the mindset of risk, of how willing you are and comfortable you are with risk?
1000%. And how we define risk. I say this to our OBMs all the time because they are building their own online business manager business, right? I actually think it is a lot riskier to be a W-2 employee. You never know if you're going to get let go. Like, you have no control of how much you make. You have no control of your bonus, really, versus an entrepreneur. Yes, it takes a lot of work. And yes, it takes a lot of sacrifice. And I would be lying if we were eating tuna for a good portion of the first few years. But I have control over all of that. If I want to make more money, bring home more money, I know what I need to go do. It may be super hard. I may sacrifice a ton, but I have control. So for me, like, I feel a lot more secure as an entrepreneur, which I know is not how most people think. I also was talking to a mentor of mine, and he's like, if you're trying to make real wealth, it is hard to be a employee and create real wealth because you see your wealth grow over time. And so your expenses keep up with your wealth. And so again, like, it's like revenue over profit, like you're not saving as much because you buy the fancier car, you buy the nicer house. Whereas when you're an entrepreneur, you're so used to, for the longest time, what do I really need? What am I really going to invest in? Do I really need that, fourth black dress? Or does that make more sense to go to Google Ads for my business or whatever? And so you learn that. So then when you do come into money, you put it in different places so that it will grow for you. And you can make more of an impact if wealth generation is really where you want to go. Now, everyone has different opinions on that. That was his, and I really liked it, so I thought I'd share.
How has your money mindset grown since growing your business?
I have control of my money mindset. Now, does that mean that I'm always great at it? No. Does that mean that I don't have blocks? No. Does it mean that I'm already where I want to be? No. But as soon as I became intentional about having like a money date with myself every night, and it is seconds long, maybe 30 seconds, but I visualize where I want to be. And I have a number, and I do that, and I put that intention out once a day, and it has significantly helped once I started doing this. And I only really started doing this in January. And I've seen the change. It's massive.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that is 7 months. Yeah. 8 months.
Yeah. And I've 2x'd my take home. Like, so it's absolutely possible. It's absolutely possible. Now, again, do I have a lot of work to do? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm excited to even go down that journey further. But now that I've done it and kept that habit up, I see the benefit 100%.
Mm. I loved our conversation so much, Ashley. Like, you're just so phenomenal. And I am so excited for how you are revolutionizing the workforce, because I do believe that entrepreneurship is the wave of the future. I agree with you 1,000%. And I probably said it on like 40 different podcasts that I think being an entrepreneur and specifically having a skill set so that you can sell anything and make money out of nowhere is the greatest job security that you could ever have.
I could not agree more. And thank you. That is a massive compliment. Massive. You have no idea. Thank you.
You are so welcome. And I would love to move into some rapid fire.
Ooh, let's do it, girl. Love it.
Down. Who is your favorite female character in a book or a movie, and why?
So it would be Wonder Woman in the first Wonder Woman movie.
It's so good.
It's so good. Reason being, first time in my life, I was well into my 30s when I saw that movie. First time in my life, I saw a female rescue a male. First time.
Mm-hmm. I cried at that scene when seeing her leading men into battle. I was like, that was a Joan of Arc moment.
100%.
So what woman would you want to trade places with at any point in history, just for a day? Live in their body, see what they saw, experience life as them.
Michelle Obama.
It's the number one answer.
Is it really?
It's the number one answer. Yep.
She's just everything. I have no words. I'm overwhelmed even thinking about it. She's just amazing.
What is your morning routine?
Is the almost 2-year-old having a meltdown or not? Because it's full on meltdown. Okay, that was today. Get up. She comes in bed with us for a little bit, and that's like a little family time. Then I make breakfast. She eats breakfast. I shower. And ultimately, that's when the meltdown starts. The meltdown finishes as she's walking into daycare. That's the routine.
What was your morning routine pre-kids?
Honestly, it was wake up, roll out of bed, go to my computer. I wish I could tell you that I, jogged 5 miles and drank all of this, lemon infused water and did my mantras. That's just not me, sadly. Maybe one day.
Maybe someday. What is your evening routine to set you up for a successful morning?
Okay, I have a little bit more of that. It is while I'm putting my daughter down, that's when I do that. I do 10 points of gratitude for that day. And it can't be, I'm very specific with my gratitude. It can't be like, I love my family. It has to be very small moments in the day. Like I saw a blue jay, and blue jays mean hoping you're on the right path. Like it has to be that type of thing. So while I'm rocking her, I do 10 of those gratitude points and the 30 seconds of visualization. That sets me up for the next day.
What do you define to be your kingdom or queendom?
A world where women don't feel like they're second in anything. I think that some people are turned off by the idea of equality because I don't know if men and women should be equal, yes, but we also have very different gifts. And so I just want women to be celebrated for our innate gifts, just like men are.
And lastly, how do you crown yourself?
Traveling. So I just got back from spending a week with my sister in Manhattan. And it was great because I was like, all I want to do this week is live like you do. So I'll work like you do. We'll go to a coffee shop. We'll eat dinner. Like, I just want to live like you do. I lived in London for 2 years, and it was the absolute best experience of my life, like mind shifting. And so the travel bug is how I crown myself.
Ashley, how do we find you? How do we work with the Prowess Project? How do the aspiring OBMs jump in and join you in this mission?
Yes. So if you are CEO or aspiring OBM, come to prowessproject.com. We have a ton of free training for OBMs who want to, like, hey, is OBM for me? So I can send you that link. We can share it out to people, and then a ton of resources for CEOs too, to understand, like, hey, am I ready for an OBM? Does this make sense for me? So again, head over to prowessproject.com. We're at Prowess Project on all social channels too.
Ashley, you have been absolutely phenomenal. I just have to say the energy that you project has like this CEO queen vibe. And I am so excited to see where you're going to go with Prowess Project in the next decade, because I just know your impact is going to be revolutionary.
Gosh, that is such a compliment. Thank you, Kimberly. This has been so fun. I feel like I have so much energy. Maybe I will go run those 5 miles. I won't. But maybe.
As always, my fellow sovereigns, own your throne, mind your business, because your reign is now.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If what you heard resonated with you, be sure to subscribe and start creating a bigger impact now by sharing this with a friend. Just by doing that one simple act of kindness, you are creating a royal ripple to support more people in their sovereignty. And if you're not already following on social media, connect with me everywhere at crownyourself.now for more inspiration. I am so excited to connect with you in the next episode. And in the meantime, go out there and create a body, business, and life that rules. Because today, you crown yourself.